Feds? It's the Mighty Mean Joe Frazier. You are now tuned in to Fist Physics. Today's topic, Timothy Bradley, who just called out Adrien Broner. A lot of people, oddly enough, are kind of excited about Timothy Bradley calling out Adrien Broner. I have a lot of problems with it. Um, the first problem is Adrien Broner is not in your weight class. Okay? And you don't get I'm one of those, hardcore boxing people who I'm not gonna give you credit for calling a guy out who's not even fighting in your weight class. I'm not. I'm definitely not giving you any credit for that. Um Second point, Tim is a top ranked fighter, and these top ranked guys are notoriously known for fighting in their stable. It's very rare that they fight somebody else from another company, and it has to be a lot of big money involved. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, they made that fight pretty easy. It was a couple other fights. It seems like Top Rank is trying to work with other promotional companies, but being that Top Rank has been around for a long time, they've been around since the days of Ali. They have a lot of different tactics, and when it comes to their real star money makers, these guys don't fight out the stable much. Um, Third point is Timothy Bradley has fought. When he was on the come up, before he was on HBO, before Top Rank, back when Timothy Bradley was Desert Storm fighting on Showtime, I was a big fan. I actually think Bradley has a win against Kendall Holt. He has a win against an undefeated Lamont Peterson. He has a win that was kind of controversial against an undefeated Devin Alexander. Stopped by headbutts, but the points were awarded to Tim Bradley. Then after that, he moves on to Top Rank, and we get these Manny Pacquiao fights. We get a Ruslan fight, and there actually was a point, and I think this is my biggest problem with Tim Bradley. There was a point where he was out of contract, everything was up for negotiation, and just like Manny, he decides to sign another contract with this guy. If you're a hardcore boxing fan, you will notice a couple of things. Manny Pacquiao, Tim Bradley are probably two of the only guys to come out of the early millennium era fighters, between 2000 2015, we'll say, who don't own their own promotional company. These guys are letting money walk out the door. Miguel Cotto, own promotional company. Floyd Mayweather, several promotional companies. The young kid saw Saul Canelo Alvarez, his own promotional company. Tim, no promotional company. Manny, no promotional company. Why? I have no idea. Another problem that I have. Timothy Bradley has only fought Manny Pacquiao. As far as the elite marquee fighters of his day and era, he's only fought Manny Pacquiao, and Manny won two out of the three. So to me, it's really confusing why Timothy's getting credit for calling out Adrien Broner. And compared to Timothy Bradley, Adrien Broner shouldn't be nowhere on your radar. It's not like Adrien has had like some real big marquee fight and now he's the top dog. I mean, he hasn't. He's still kind of mulling around at 140. I suspect he soon might be moving back to 147, but that's speculation. So, and you know what? In the past, the only other name that I've heard Timothy Bradley throw around was a Miguel Cotto, and those were only when he was asked who he would like to fight. He said he would think about moving up to 154 to fight Canelo, which I think is probably off the table, seeing that Canelo has grown since then. And he also expressed interest in the Miguel Cotto fight, which I was actually looking forward to. I don't think Timothy Bradley would beat Miguel Cotto, but I think it would be a great fight. Now, putting the icing on his career, the feather in his cap, I think Timothy Bradley should be looking to get a Floyd Mayweather fight. And, in the past, he's been asked about, well, how come you never wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather? And his response, and I think this might have been on Ellie Setback's channel, but I believe he said something along the lines of, well, Floyd never called me out. You don't have the resume for Floyd to call you out. Straight up and down. You do not have a resume for a guy like Floyd to call you out. It was up to you to call Floyd Mayweather out when you still had to know. And I think that's what really bothers me about Tim, that the whole contract and the renegotiation happened at a time where Timothy Bradley still was undefeated. And if there's one thing you know about Floyd Mayweather, he loves fighting undefeated fighters. So why wouldn't you call out a Floyd Mayweather, but you are really excited about calling out an Adrien Broner? And I already know what it was. You took a look at Sean Porter versus Andre Berto, and you said, Berto fights like Adrien Broner, I fight like Sean Porter. Perhaps I could go and mix it up with this kid. But you know what? There's some real key differences in Andre Berto and Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner has not taken the hellacious beatings that Andre Berto has taken. Okay, he's not as shop worn as an Andre Berto. Second thing, I think at this point of the careers, Adrien is much faster and a lot stronger and a lot bigger than Andre Berto. If you watch that Broner versus Porter fight, remember that Broner actually gave Porter a flash knockdown. You haven't seen anybody else knock Porter down. Porter's a really strong, durable guy. You haven't seen anybody else put this kid on his backside yet, except for Adrien Broner. And against a shop-worn Timothy Bradley, I think Broner walks right through him. Bradley doesn't have a lot of power. He tends to come straight forward with his head first. And you know what? I actually think that Sean Porter's style, even though it resembles Timothy Bradley, I feel like Sean Porter is more effective with it. And, I mean, just looking forward into the future, I would not be interested in seeing Adrien Broner, Timothy Bradley at all. Timothy Bradley, you need to call out some of these future Hall of Famers that are walking around that you should have fought in your younger days. Perhaps you can catch them in your old age. But those are the fights that I'd like to see you make. A Miguel Cotto, a Floyd Mayweather, somebody that you didn't get the chance to on the come up, that perhaps you could do something. And you know what? Once upon a time, I thought that Timothy Bradley would have done really well against Floyd Mayweather. I thought his style, he brings a lot of pressure. Yes, he doesn't have a lot of power, but he brings a lot of pressure, and you always got to be careful of his head fighting on the inside. So I thought that would have been a great fight, and the window's closing. The window's closing. All right, fight fans, it's the Mighty Mean Joe Frazier. 1.